At how players received previous games, how outlets like IGN talk about them when they're released, what it is that resonates, what is it that maybe looks like a really great idea on paper, but just doesn't get picked up when it's actually playable on the sticks. And the thing that we see again and again and again is that feeling of movement between spaces, and moving between a desert and a different kind of desert. That's a very ephemeral change. But moving from the suburbs into downtown, that is immediate. Coming out of an alley, which is super narrow, onto a 4-lane major road through the middle of a city, that is immediate. And those super small scale changes create the sense that this map is rich and full of things to do. And I think that was an objective that we set out at the top of this game.
We've known for some time that Forza Horizon 6's Japan is Playground Games' largest and densest map to date. We've known too that Playground Games' version of Tokyo City is set to be the biggest urban space the team has ever made, and 5 times larger than Forza Horizon 5's Guanajuato. Seeing it in person, however, is something else, and obviously extremely exciting. My own first showcase of the game in action featured a beaming red GR-GT, the cover car for Forza Horizon 6, threading its way from the map's southern end to the north, up through the outskirts of Tokyo City and onwards towards Japan's Alpes. As with all previous Forza Horizon maps, this is not a one-to-one facsimile of any specific chunk of Japan. It's a greatest hits tour that captures the look and spirit of areas from all over the country, all bundled into a single racing sandbox. It is, without doubt, an excellent setting for a Forza Horizon game.
It's one of the first decisions we make. And it's historically one of the toughest decisions to make because, as you say, it informs everything. And there are many components to it that, Japan has been a location we've wanted to do and it's been on our shortlist for a number of games. But I think this was the first time that we felt that we could take a shot at it, that the fear was healthy rather than an actual panic response.
Yeah, and I guess in terms of, obviously each location offers kind of like new challenges and obviously new gameplay and new experiences, but for this one, Japan had a lot of challenges that we had to kind of figure out and approach and try to solve. And that was kind of one of the things that, at least for myself, intrigued me to kind of like tackle Japan as a location.
One significant rule that the Playground team took specific care to abide by was the fact that simply transplanting the Horizon Festival to Japan and dusting their hands couldn't be enough. As highly desired as the location was, it could never be the only thing Forza Horizon 6 brought to the table. Happily, Ellett points out that the location does, in fact, give the team a lot of scope to make new features, which is something he cares deeply about.
A lot of the discussions that we had all the way back in concept for this project were around, is it just Japan? Is it a previous game that is on a new map? And our games are never like that. We always iterate, we always innovate, we always kind of introduce new features and push the game forward. So certainly from a design point of view, we were very careful and very aware of the fact that we needed to think about this as a game that was set in Japan rather than that being almost like a core part of what the game would be. Like, couldn't rely on it being Japan. We wanted this to be, I guess, the most exciting game, the game where we push on a bunch of different axes and generate these new features that players have been really excited about.
Yeah.
And it's also in Japan.
And I guess the key thing for us, because Japan comes with so many expectations and I guess everyone has their idea of what Japan is. So obviously we had to look at those things like Tokyo City, what they expect, and obviously mountainous roads, which both offer huge challenges for our team technically and gameplay wise. It was those things, and also we have the idea of, I guess, what people expect out of Japan, but it's also trying to find the things that will surprise and delight players and things that people don't immediately think of Japan when they say it. And I think as all Horizons games, that we always look for those in every location we look for, that we choose. And yeah, this for Japan, it's no different. We kind of had those kind of nice surprises. And we've seen it with the footage we've shared so far. People are like, does that exist? Is this for real? And everything it does exist in Japan, which is really exciting.
Entering Tokyo City, I'm taken aback by just how vastly different it is to previous Horizon game urban spaces. This is spectacularly different from Guanajuato and Edinburgh. But that's not necessarily the pleasantly surprising part. Forza Horizon 3's modern and vertical surface paradise is the closest comparison, but the scale of Tokyo City is immensely more grand. Even skimming around the fringe of the city's heart and escaping via the raised freeway, it's clear that there is so much more to this take on Tokyo City than has been typical of Horizon games. The diversity of Tokyo City stems from the fact that even the city itself, which is regarded as a biome of its own in terms of the overall map, is further divided into 4 districts. First, there are the suburbs. These are quiet and peaceful areas, packed with all the charm of a clean but cluttered, densely populated Japanese urban area. The roads, covered in bike lanes and school markings, stretch out beneath a spaghetti of chaotic cabling. Next, there's Tokyo City's dockyard, which promises to be an extremely popular destination for event lab creators. This is a large area that appears primarily filled with containers, though the team promises they've placed ramps and elevated pathways around to facilitate the typical over-the-top driving and stunts we associate with the Forza Horizon games. The third district of Tokyo City is the industrial area, which is its own island reached by crossing the iconic Rainbow Bridge. The industrial district is also home to Forza Horizon 6's ode to the famous Daikoku parking area, the real-life 24-hour highway rest stop that attracts and hosts a regular stream of the coolest cars in Japan, and has become regarded as the best car park in the world. The team confirms this is definitely not the only car park in the game either. Apparently, there are a lot more. There's not always a feature tied to them, but alongside the reappearance of petrol stations on the map for the first time since Forza Horizon 3, they help the world feel more rich and authentically car-adjacent. And 6's Tokyo City is the downtown area, which contains not only the distinct neon elements of Shibuya and Akihabara, but also a clean and crisp commercial and banking area, so even within this single district, there will be multiple different aesthetics. It's in the downtown area that Arseta notes you'll also see more in-world Horizon Festival branding presence, inspired by the sorts of banners and signage a real-world city would hang and display in certain ways if it were hosting an event like, say, the Olympic Games. This actually goes further than just helping the Horizon Festival feel like a more authentic global event that has in fact descended upon Tokyo City and its surroundings. It also helps the team integrate people into the scenes while still keeping them safe from cars. As the team notes, cars and people don't play nice, and Forza Horizon is not GTA. By having Horizon infrastructure within the city though, Playground can keep people in there and safe from cars, but players can still see a populated city. For the first time in a Forza Horizon game, the team building the world itself has been split into 2, one for Tokyo City and one for the remainder of the map.
Yeah, we have a team making our city specifically, and a lot of that is, it's our biggest city we've ever made. It is 5 times larger than the last city we made in Guanajuato. And then Tokyo, just as a city itself, it's so layered and so detailed, much more than anything we've done in the past. And to make Tokyo City for Forza Horizon, we really need a dedicated team. It covers everything from roads, buildings, foliage, terrain. Tokyo has all of it, where and almost equal parts in it. It's just such a big biome that it just kind of warranted its own team.
Driving around in Tokyo City, what strikes me is just how immersed I feel in a place. That's true of many of our biomes because of the kind of the way that your lines of sight are constricted, but because it's the city, it feels radically different. I think one of the things that excited me when we had the first white box versions of the city that we could drive around in was just how it changed the way I drove around those white box roads. you find yourself doing a lot more technical driving, a lot more hard 90 turns. You're driving a lot in the kind of B and A class of cars, which is quite a different experience to driving around the rest of the world. So when you enter Tokyo City, unless you're just spinning through it on one of the motorway links, your driving experience gears down, and you need to interact with the slightly broader main roads and the quite narrow, because we've got some really narrow alleys through the city. It is a completely different driving experience.
For Arceta, it's his favourite place on the map.
Tokyo City, Shibuya, it's awesome just being there. The team's done an amazing job, and this is our first real, I guess, city that we've ever done, and it feels like it. And that also, I love architecture, so it's easy to kind of just say that's my favorite, but I would say Tokyo City.
Outside of Tokyo City, Forza Horizon 6's Japan is made up of 5 further biomes: the Japan Alps, the Highlands, low mountains, plains, and the coast. The Alps are the highest point on the map, and they're an area of permanent snow that reminds me a lot of Forza Horizon 3's Blizzard Mountain expansion. The area includes a ski resort with working chairlifts and an interpretation of the Tateyama-Kurobe Alpine route and its towering corridor of snow walls. Yes, you can jump over it, we asked, and the Playground Games team instantly obliged. Tokyo City seems tiny in the distance from the Alps, which seems fabulous for the sense of scale here. The Highlands is the next step down, which Arceta points out took a lot of inspiration from the Venus Line, or Venus Skyline as it's sometimes called, one of the most scenic driving roads in Japan. These rolling hills appear draped in a sea of Suzuki grass. We're also promised cows, but we don't get to spot any today. Next are the low mountains, which Arceta describes as the transitory biome between all places, stitching the map together. This will be the home of toge racing through dense tree corridors and tunnels. He notes that he thinks there'll be more trees in this map than probably a few games combined, with the extra headroom now afforded by not shipping on previous generation consoles. Forza Horizon 6's trees are rendered deep into the distance, which the team states is crucial to achieving the aesthetic of Japan, but couldn't be done before. Finally, there's the coast, with its picturesque rock formations and ocean, and the plains, which are portions of rural Japan. We're shown a quaint shrine perched in the middle of a soggy field. In this case, it's loomed over by a stretch of race Shinkansen track, ready for a bullet train to blaze over. The juxtaposition between the traditional and modern worlds is an interesting one. It's important to note, however, that the map itself is not simply broken up into Tokyo City and 5 other zones. This time around, biomes are elevation-based, which Arceta explains is a totally different approach from past games, which typically slice the environment into separate chunks. That is, desert here, rainforest there, and so on.
Yeah, I think it makes this map super unique. Past biomes in past games were quite region locked or separated. We still have a few regions that exist in certain areas. So we have our Alps up in the north, and then we have our Tokyo City down in the south. But all the biomes that live along with those, are altitude based. It really changes how you experience the map. And we could only do it this way because our map is so vertical, it's so elevated. And when we're doing our research on Japan, that elevation the biome just changed that way. So it's authentic, and it really, I found that it made you stick to the roads, trying to explore this world because of that verticality.
According to Arceta, blending portions of the different biomes all over the map also made them more conscious about introducing subtle differences to define areas which otherwise sit under the same biome umbrella.
Those are dotted around actually all over the map, but it also got us thinking, well, how can we change these planes up in each kind of location? Sure, it's the same biome, but it just kind of led us to all these kind of micro nuanced changes within biomes. So we have our low mountains, which is almost like the glue that kind of ties all the biomes together. You're either transitioning up to the highlands, or you're going down to the plains, or you're going up to the Alps, but you're always kind of traveling through low mountains. And there's one of the things that we wanted to tackle to just make sure to give each area its own identity. So if you're going up this one toll gate road, it feels different from the one down south of the map.
It's the downhill stretch for the Playground Games team now, and it won't be long until the entire Forza Horizon community is unleashed upon the brand new world the crew has crafted. Arceta can't wait to hear what players from Japan itself think of Forza Horizon 6.
For myself, and I've seen some of this with footage we've released, it's when someone from Japan plays the game, is like, that looks like just down the street from me. You know, I've been here. And I think even if it's not a landmark, it's just a regular street. And that makes me super happy when people respond that way.
Elliot is in agreement, but would also love to hear that people from outside Japan find it immersive in their own ways.
I would love it if people who would love to go and live a year of their life in Japan vicariously have that experience through the thing that we've made. I still am delighted to find bits of Horizon 4's map, even though I worked so much on that game. Just yesterday, when I was setting up for us to start talking, I found a little farmhouse surrounded by cherry blossom trees on a little raised surface in the middle of some paddies quite close to the stadium. And I was just like, I saw a screenshot of it on someone else's screen. I said, okay, is that concept art? And they said, no, that's a place. I'm like, that is not a place. And they showed it to me. I'm like, wow. So for me, I would say it's the little places where artists have obviously spent time and thought about what they're going to make there. And I can't wait to find all of those and look at all of them.